Hello, everyone. I wanted to talk to you today about how October is the month of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And me being a domestic violence survivor, wanted to talk to you about the difficulties of going through that. Um, I was in an abusive relationship for 24 years. I got married in 1991, which back then was kind of taboo if you get divorced or people didn't speak up about abuse. And so I was in a living hell. Like felt like my soul died and went to hell. And I was trapped and I was in this prison and I was just dwindling away because of um, how demeaning and cruel my husband was. He was a narcissistic sociopath, so he looked wonderful in public, and behind closed doors, he was horrible to me. He did horrible things. He trapped me in closets. He took away financial privileges. He took away computer privileges, trying to punish me when I had done nothing wrong. He completely violated my privacy. He recorded all my phone calls. He tapped my phones. He broke into my computer accounts. He used to read my journals and would just lecture me on what I wrote in my journals. And so I started writing on the computer, and then he would hack into that, and then he would take clips of different days that had nothing to do with each other and twist it and put it together, saying that I said certain things that I didn't say. Pathological liar. He would steal things from our neighborhood during the middle of the night. And eventually he physically assaulted me, and I put a protective order on him, but the court protected him and our church leaders protected him, and he got away with so many horrible, awful things. And I lost my home because of it, because I was threatened, I was coerced, I was blackmailed into giving my home up. um, it was just, I mean, the narcissists try to hurt you. um, and so he tried to take my home away from me so that I wouldn't have stability, but didn't realize that by doing that, he was taking my children's home away from them, which he didn't care about, because all they care about is hurting you. And it's hard because it took me a long, long time to speak up. And, I'd have people encourage me to stand in my power and speak my truth. And that's why we have domestic violence awareness, because a lot of women feel trapped, and men too. I realize this happens to men and children, of course, but we don't know how to speak up because we're afraid people won't believe us. And then if we do speak up, then we get blamed um, for being the abusive one, or things just get twisted around and thrown back in our face, and it's so hard. So I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Then I felt like when I finally got the strength and power to stand in my power, well, I had to take a lot of empowerment classes after my divorce. Um, it's just hard when you don't love yourself, because the person that you're with makes you feel very worthless and unvalued, and they tell you every day how stupid and ugly and pathetic you are. You feel like you're stupid and ugly and pathetic, and you feel like you've done something wrong because they twist everything to make it seem like you're the one that caused all these things. And so then you question yourself and you doubt yourself, and so then you don't dare speak up, because it's like, okay, I thought he was the one that said that, but he's twisting my words, so maybe I'm the one. You doubt yourself. And so there have been studies done that show that domestic violence, especially by a narcissist, causes the same type of trauma and PTSD as war vets. And so people can't just say, oh, just snap out of it, it wasn't that bad. Or, one thing I've learned is I've had so much compassion for people. You cannot judge anybody or just say, oh, you just got to get on with your life. But the thing that I was torn with is people were encouraging me to speak up, but then when I did, they'd say, oh, you're in victim mode. It's like, how do they get to tell their story if when they finally get the courage to speak up, and then they're told, oh, you're just in victim mode? So I know it can be a very delicate balance, and I've had to try to find that balance. And people will say, like my mom just told me a couple days ago, you just got to forgive and move on. And it's like, yeah, I will forgive, but there was no accountability and it still left me damaged. I've had to go through years of therapy. And in fact, every therapist I went to said that the reason why my health was as bad as it was because of the way my husband treated me and that he needed to go to therapy with me, but he refused to. But then when it was time for him to have therapy after he had a purposeful accident. He purposely had an accident to make people feel sorry for him because he got to the point where he believed I was going to leave him. And so then I went to therapy with him. I went with him every time and supported him. That's the thing about narcissists is they're always the most important thing. They're selfish. They don't care about you. They try to hurt you. They lie about you. I supported every one of his family functions and reunions. He would purposely plan things with my kids over my family reunions so they wouldn't go. And I think that showed my kids that his family was first priority, mine was last. And it's still kind of hard because that's still kind of how it is. But all these years, I was just dying inside, and I'm a poet. And so I would just write things out because I didn't feel like I could speak them, and I didn't feel like I had the power or the know-how to stand up for myself. And so I just kind of died inside, and then I would write what I felt. And so I know that there are so many women or individuals out there who are feeling this way and they don't know how to speak up, because I was afraid that my husband would be more abusive if I spoke up. And like I said, it's such a delicate balance that you don't know what to do and you just feel so stuck. So I want to just read a couple of poems. Just know that there's a way out. I lost my home and I have been very sick, and so I haven't been able to provide for myself. And it's been so hard because they take away that stability for you. And for me, because I was sick, it was so hard. Oh my gosh, it's been such a hard, difficult journey because I lost my house, I lost my health, I lost all my finances. I have no income right now. I'm on a Section 8 voucher. I would love to be able to provide for myself and do the things that, see, before I got married, I was very healthy and whole, and I put myself through college, and I earned 2 bachelor's degrees without any help, financial help from anybody. I worked full-time, I went to school full-time, I worked for an adoption agency, I was serving in a prominent calling in my church, like a service position. And I was so motivated, so goal oriented. I had so many dreams I wanted to live. And those dreams all died the day I got married because he became abusive from the very start. One thing I want to say is if you feel in your gut that something's not right, don't follow through with it. Because in my head, I was looking at him because he was so charismatic and so, made himself look so wonderful that my head was like, well, he looks like a good guy and he says he's a good guy. But my gut was like, something's not right. I wasn't at peace. And as soon as I married him, I knew why. He was extremely abusive. I can't even tell you all the things he did. There's not time. Horrible things. And I felt like a horrible person because I was blamed for everything. And I felt bad that I had such negative feelings towards my spouse. Again, I could go on. I know a lot of you could relate to this, but I'm just going to read a couple of poems for you. When I was writing them, I didn't know why I was writing them or who I was writing them, but I realized I wrote them for you and for me. So I hope that they can give you strength and you can gain something from these poems. So the first one I wrote that I'm going to share is called With Heaven's Eyes. And I actually wrote it after I watched a program about sex trafficking. I was horrified. This was like 20 years ago or more. And I didn't realize that happened. And I'm just going to try to make this bigger so I can see it. So I wrote this poem after I watched one of those programs, and then I realized this is all about me. I wasn't sex trafficked, but I was sexually abused by my husband. I was abused in every way, sexually, physically, emotionally, verbally, spiritually. He would use scriptures against me to make me look bad in front of our children. But I was such a good mother. I tried so hard to protect my kids from the abuse because he was so cruel. So cruel. And so I tried to take the brunt of all of the abuse so that my kids didn't have to feel it. So my body started to deteriorate and fall apart. But anyway, so here's this first poem, With Heaven's Eyes. And it just hits hard every time. You think you've gotten over those triggers and you've worked through things for so many years through all the trauma, and there are such wonderful modalities that have helped me work through the trauma, like EMDR and guided imagery, and that's why I learned some of these things so that I can provide these therapies to you. But even just reading this poem now, it's like, it just hits so hard. So it's called With Heaven's Eyes because God sees you as you are, as beautiful women and children of God. With heaven's eyes, do not look at me, I might turn away. It would cause great pain, you see, beyond what words can say. The shame and guilt I hide behind will dance across my face, in shadows of doubt and fear and grief, exposing my fallen grace. But wait, please look into my eyes and tell me you can see, beyond the scars of a broken heart, a soul who longs to be free. Look deeper now. Can you find hope? Can you find deity? Please tell me I am worthy of respect and dignity, that I have purpose, I have rights, I have things to say. I'm not just a dirty piece of junk you can display. Though withered, bruised, and torn apart, I might not look like much, but somehow deep inside me there is a hidden crutch. A voice to lean on telling me that I must win this fight, that somehow I am worth it all, that somehow I am right. Look deeper still, and you will know I'm a child of a king. Trailing clouds of glory, a divine and precious being. If you can see with human eyes what my soul is worth, then you will pull me from this dust, help me find peace on earth. Please don't look away from me, don't leave me here alone. In all my sorrow, rescue me, help me to find a home. To a better life, a better place, where I will know I'm safe. A place where I can learn to love and feel of heaven's grace. Then I can give back in return to help a soul in need, to light their path with hope and love, to help them to succeed. From clouds of darkness, fear and doubt, to clouds of light and love, trailing clouds of glory from that heavenly King above. So I've made mention that I've had a near-death experience. I died because I have a damaged heart, but I also believe I died from a broken heart because of what happened to me and everything I went through. And God needed me to have that experience so that I could feel his pure love for me, which I will never be able to explain in earthly words what that felt like. It was just pure divine light and love that you can't even get close to feeling here on this earth in this lifetime. But God sent me back. He told me I had to come back because I needed to share his love with you. And so hopefully this is one way that I can share that God loves you. He sees you with heaven's eyes. You stem from deity because you are a daughter of a king, and you need to remember that. No matter how battered and bruised and broken you feel, you are loved, and your hearts can be mended, and there is hope. Don't listen to the people who tell you, oh, you're just a victim. Oh, you just need to forgive and snap out of it. Oh, don't listen. Listen to the people who have been through it and know what you're going through, who will listen and support you, who will understand and not make judgments, who can help guide you to where you can get help because of the help that they've got. I can guide you because of the help that I've been able to get. If you need help, if you're in a domestic violence situation, reach out. I'm here. There are so many people here to help you. And there is help. Don't give up. Don't give up, and don't allow yourself to continue to be abused. Even though it seems like taboo in your family or your church, you have a right to leave if you are being abused. You don't have to stay in that hell. You deserve better. And the person abusing you might try to tell you there is no way out and that you won't be able to make it if you try to get out, and or they'll hurt you, or I mean, they're going to hurt you anyway. They might kill you anyway if you stay. So even though it's been a hard one for me, I've had to move 11 times in 12 years. It's been horrid. It's been horrid. But I got out and I'm alive, and I'm starting to learn to love myself and believe in myself again, no matter how difficult it's been. And I wanted you to hear that. Whoever hears this, whoever this is meant for, just know that you are a divine daughter or son of God. He loves you and he will send you help. And hopefully I can be a help to you. Have a good night. And if you have any questions, please write comments down below. Please share this with anybody who needs to hear it. I have so many more poems that I wrote, but I'm just going to share this one for now, for tonight. I might share another one in a day or two. You are loved. Take care.